So next up, we have conditional formatting. Yes, and in conditional formatting, you can check for things like duplicates, you can inspect and then do some formats on a column or any part of the data set based on the condition you set. So I'm going to take this column B and I'm going to test, I'm going to check for duplicates and do conditional formatting. So I select column B and I come over here. So this is the home tab and this conditional formatting command, and I go to highlight cell rules and I go to duplicate values and I click on OK, and there you go. So you see I have it highlighted in red, the duplicate values. So these and these are duplicates, and then these, so here we have row 7 and row 75 are duplicates, and then row 6 and row 9 are also duplicates. So now I can investigate a little bit further and see. So let me filter by color and just filter by this and then inspect to see. So across the row you can see that 6 and 9 have the same or pretty much the same contents for the different columns, the release dates, the overview, and we shouldn't have more than one. So I'm going to have to deal with the duplicate. So that's another feature, inspecting with the filter, and then I'm going to go over to remove duplicates. Okay, so we're going to handle remove duplicates so that we just handle it once and for all. So to remove the duplicates, all we need to do is select the entire data set, and then we go over to the data tab, and then we come over to this data tools section here and then click on remove duplicates, and then here we have the columns selected. So we're going to select all of them. My data has headers, and then we click on OK. Okay, it says no duplicate found. Okay, so I'm going to come back and then click on remove duplicates again, and this time I'm just looking at the title column. So let me unselect all and then just select the title. I don't want more than one title, and there you go, 2 duplicates values found, and that has cleaned the data to that extent. So next up we have filters, which we have looked at. So we have looked at the filters and used them to investigate the contents. So this is the content of our dates column, this is the content of our overview column, and then we've also used the filters to reduce what we want. So we can come to the original language and say we're just interested in those with this EN original language, that should be English, and maybe FR, that should be French, and that returns it, it filters it for us, and we can do so many things with our filters. So let me select all and have everything back. And so we've looked at filters. Next we do find and replace, and so we can use Control H for that. So let's go back to our data set, and assuming we want to find, let me search for this error here, so I can copy it, select F and do my Control H, and let me look for this, looking for this error, and then I'm going to replace it with, I just replace it with 0. So let me do find next. Yes, and so it has found it there on F5, and then I replace it and find next, and there's no other occurrence again. So find and replace is very useful in Excel. And then next up we have go to special, and we're going to use that to work on the blanks. So let me go back here. So I'm going to start with the text or the general cell. So I select C and H, and then I'm going to find and select, go to special, and wherever I have blanks, I want to write NA. So I'm going to come over here to the formula bar and I'm going to write N A, and then you see it's already written here on C5, which is the first occurrence of the blank, but then we also have other cells, and then I'm going to do Shift Enter. Okay, so Shift Enter has enabled me to have the blanks, which is here H9 and C5. So I have it replaced with NA instead of blank. So let's go over back to our guide, and the next one is spelling check. So we're going to do a spelling check, and let's just do a spelling check on this column here. So I select column H, and for the spelling check, we go to the review tab, and then we go to spelling. So click on spelling, and the dialog box comes, and then it's identifying the first spelling issue is this first one, and that should be thriller. Remember, we have thriller over here, so that's a mistake. We have thriller, and then we're going to change it, so that has been changed, and that is fine. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is clear formats. Okay, so when it comes to clear format, what we want to do is we want to remove all unwanted formats. And so we're going to come over here, select the entire data set, and especially we should be looking at this. We have a thick border here that we don't want. We also have these background formats here and here. And so we're going to come to the home tab, and then we're going to go to, we're going to come to this erase icon here. We click on this, the arrow, and then we click on clear formats, and we clear the formats. So next up, we're going to do data validation. We can try and ensure we have restricted entry in any of our columns. So I'm just going to create a new sheet and then demonstrate data entry here. So say, for example, I want to have a column where I have the original language, and then in the original language, I want to make entries of the different languages for the movies. And over here, I'm going to come and put language list. And then I just have EN for English. Let me just say FR. And let me just say JP, let me just say CH, let me just say MA. So we have the options here. Now this is the list of the languages that I want accepted here. And so I'm going to do data validation to ensure that I restrict what comes in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and then select as much as should my data set should have. So if I select this, and then I'm going to come over to the data tab and then data validation here. So I click on data validation, click on data validation, and here I'm going to allow just the list, and then I'm specifying the source of the list to be the range of entries I have here. So I do that, and then I click on OK, and then you see that I have this drop down here, and then I can make the entries just by clicking on this drop down. And then I can also type as well. So I can type MA, and I will see it there as an, I can enter. And then if I want to type something that is not there, let's say DF, I type it and I get this one in here that tells me this value doesn't match the data validation restrictions. So data validation is a very helpful tool when you want to do your data entry. So you want to populate your data set, you can do data validation, you can set it up. So say you have a column where you're expected to enter things like just days of the week. So you can have a list where you have the specified text values there, and then you make the input. So that's data validation.